Hello and welcome to news broadcast on TayNinhTV with some latest event in the province and well as in nationwide. And now we come into details. On the morning of October 29, Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee and Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee Nguyễn Văn Úc chaired a meeting and working session with BAF Vietnam Agriculture Joint Stock Committee to discuss the situation of production and business activities and propose orientations for developing high-tech livestock farming in Tay Ninh Province.
Also attending the meeting, there were members of Provincial Party Committee, Standing Committee, and Vice Chairman of Provincial People's Committee Nguyễn Hồng Thanh. At the meeting, BAF Vietnam Agriculture Joint Stock Company proposed that the province continue to support the completion of investment procedures, site clearance, electricity and water infrastructure, and training of high-quality human resources to serve the development of high-tech agriculture projects in the area. The chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, Nguyễn Văn Úc, highly appreciated the production model of BAF Vietnam, saying that this is the direction in line with the strategy of developing sustainable agriculture and green economy that the province is implementing. He assigned the relevant departments and branches to coordinate to remove the obstacles, create conditions for the enterprises to implement projects on schedule, ensuring environmental and circular economic criteria. On this occasion, BAF Vietnam Agriculture Joint Stock Company donated 1 billion Vietnam dong to support the social welfare work in the province.
Also in the morning, October 29, working group number 6 of the Provincial Peace Committee, headed by Vice Chairman of the Provincial Peace Committee, Huỳnh Văn Sơn, held an online meeting with commerce and works to resolve difficulties and obstacles in the process of implementing the two-level local government model. Working group number 6 is in charge of 8 localities including An Tịnh Quơ and Tân Biên, Ninh Điền, Trà Vong, Hoa Khánh, Hậu Nghĩa, Đức Hòa, and Tân Hưng communes. After nearly 4 months of implementing the two-level local government model, the organizational apparatus has been consolidated and operations are basically stable, effective and efficient. Infrastructure and equipment for public service have been invested, gradually meeting the requirements of the task. However, many difficulties still exist. Of the 46 recommendations raised, most focus on the fields of internal affairs and science and technology. The localities requested the province to soon approve the job position project, provide recruitment guidance, supplement the missing human resources, complete the electronic administrative software system, and establish a rapid response team to support localities in handling technical incidents when necessary. In his concluding remarks, Vice Chairman of the Provincial Peace Committee, Huỳnh Văn Sơn, acknowledged the proactive and responsible spirit of the localities and at the same time request these 8 localities to be more proactive and closely coordinate with the specialized departments and branches, closely follow legal regulations and ensure the implementation of the model in a unified, synchronous and effective manner.
On the morning of October 29, Vice Chairwoman of the Provincial People's Council, Đặng Thị Ngọc Mai, and a working group conducted a survey on the supplies of health insurance and medical supplies in Trảng Bàng Ward.
At the survey, the representatives of the Department of Health, the World People's Committee, and Trảng Bàng Regional Medical Center reported and clarified issues raised by the working group, focusing on the difficulties in handling, beating the shortage of medical supplies and the supply of health insurance medicines at the grassroots medical station. Trảng Bàng Regional Medical Center is a Grade 2 health service unit under the Department of Health with a scale of 130 hospital beds and 158 medical staff. In recent times, the quality of health insurance examination and treatment has been gradually improved, reducing the waiting time and granting convenience for the patient when coming to see a doctor.
The Provincial Peace Committee had just issued a plan to implement the achievement for gender equality and prevention and response to gender-based violence. In 2025, the action plan will take place from November 15 to December 15 across the province. With the theme Gender Equality and Safety for Women and Girls in the Digital Age, this year's activities aim to raise awareness and responsibility of all-level status and the whole society on gender equality, prevention and response to gender-based violence, especially in cyberspace. The goal of the assignment is to encourage women and girls to be brave, confident, and have safety skills when participating in the digital environment. At the same time, promote the role of on-level sectors in the whole society in promoting gender equality. The Provincial Peace Committee requests that the activities in the assignment must be carried out practically, effectively, economically, and in accordance with the actual conditions of each locality, promote the application of information technology, digital transformation in communication work, and organized response activities.
Amid the convergence of 34 provinces and cities across the country, at the Autumn Fair 2025, the province will stand out with its modern, creative, and unique style with the theme interaction and sustainable development.
The harmonious combination of traditional beauty and modern breadth has helped TayNin reach its own mark, attracting a large number of visitors to the biggest trade fair of the year. Inspired by the Ramgod River, a symbol that has been associated for generations with the land and people of TayNin, and exhibition space is designed as a seamless journey of development, from the source of traditional agriculture to the flow of trade connections to the light of integration and development. Each area is a unique slice imbued with the breadth of local culture and the aspiration to rise in the flow of industrialization and modernization. Standing out in the center is the administrative map of TayNin with 96 units after the merger, built in 3D combined with LED spotlights, symbolizing the spirit of unity, innovation, and vision of sustainable development of the locality. Here, the arrangement is very harmonious between modern and traditional with brothers and bros of the homeland. TayNin's bird left an impression on visitors, showing the characteristics of his homeland. Not only outstanding in space, TayNin's exhibition area is also marked by the diversity of varieties and private introductions. The booths are divided into many content areas such as outcome varieties, typical industrial varieties, processed agricultural varieties, tourism, and typical cuisine, demonstrates the locality's efforts in enhancing the brand, bringing TayNin varieties to domestic and foreign markets. The products of TayNin homeland are very popular, such as this very delicate hand-woven varieties. In addition, TayNin also offers a variety of varieties with top quality. TayNin's exhibition space is also a cultural canvas. When the image of the homeland is recreated through typical colors, images of Badem Mountain, fields, wrapped villages, and familiar varieties, here visitors can fully feel the unique features of the dynamic and hospitable Southwest. TayNin's display is very different. I love TayNin with agricultural varieties such as rice, rose, and also typical varieties. With careful investment in perform and content, TayNin's exhibition space at the 2025 Autumn Fair is not only a place to promote varieties, but also a vivid picture of a land that is strongly integrating.
Ladies and gentlemen, TayNin Provincial Task Department has organized a conference to discuss and resolve difficulties for enterprises and taxpayers in 2025 with the participation of 160 delegates representing enterprises and taxpayers in the area.
At the conference, the representatives of the provincial tax departments deployed and introduced a number of new points of the law on corporate income tax according to Law Number 67 of 2025 of the National Assembly. The new contents on value-added tax VAT, Decree Number 70 of the 2025 of the Government on electronic invoices. Representatives of a number of enterprises and taxpayers raised a number of problems and difficulties related to the implementation and application of new tax policies such as tax settlements, tax exemption, and reduction time in the first 2 years, VAT reduction. TayNin Provincial Tax Department fully acknowledged the recommendations of enterprises and committed to respond promptly. Contents beyond the authority will be reported to superiors for consideration. In coming time, the tax sector will continue to reform administrative procedures, promote digital transformation, improve staff capacity, take the taxpayer satisfaction as a measure of efficiency, contributing to building a sustainable source of revenue and promoting the development of the province.
The Orient Bank of Vĩnh Định River through Triệu Bình Khmer, Quảng Trị Province have seriously eroded many sections of erosion, have eaten deep into the banks, creating large rock jar and endangering people's life and production, as well as damaging residential blocks.
In particular, the complicated developments of the tropical depression near the East Sea and heavy rain caused by storm number 12 have made hundreds of households living along the banks of this river even more insecure. Many households in Vân Hoa village said that their houses were previously thousands of meters from the river, but after a few years, the water has gradually eaten into the foot of the wall. Many houses and solid structure of the people along the banks of Vĩnh Định River are at high risk of being damaged and collapsing when they are only 2 or 3 meters from the riverbank. And the riverbank erosion has also caused the area of production land to gradually disappear, affecting the people's livelihoods. This year, the water had just entered, but the erosion is about 5 to 7 meters, and thanks to the government's attention to the people to prevent the erosion. The erosion of Vĩnh Định riverbank has appeared for many years, especially after storm number 10. This situation has become especially seriously, and as well as of banana and bamboo trees, the types of trees that people planted to prevent the erosion, have fallen down and lying in the middle of the river, no longer able to hold the soil anymore. Currently, the landslide situation in Triệu Bình Commune, Quảng Trị province, especially through Vân Hoa and Quảng Điền villages, has a total length of 1.5 kilometers. In Vân Hoa village, 600 meters of the people were directly affected, and about 15 households were severely affected also. And until today, landslides are close to the people's house. In the coming time, it is recommended that all the levels pay attention to allocating the funds with allocated to build ramps to ensure the peaceful life for the people, especially during rainy season. The landslide situation on the Vĩnh Định riverbank through Triệu Bình Commune is very serious and has been complicated for many years. And currently, the local authorities are urgently reviewing and proposing solutions to overcome the temporarily reinforced warning of danger and making plans to evacuate the people in vulnerable areas when heavy rains occur. However, in the long term, it is necessary for the authorities to pay attention and promptly intervene and invest in building solid embankments to ensure the people's lives.
The science workshop Sustainable Rice Cultivation Emissions Reduction took place on October 28 in An Giang, organized by Lộc Trời Group's Joint Stock Committee in collaboration with the National Agriculture Extension Center and related units.
Within the framework of the event, many modern technology applications were introduced, such as Akanmo robots developed by New Green Group Japan, helping to control the waste, golden apple snails, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Example number 3, seasoned rice variety, granted a protection certificate in 2004, and signing ceremony of strategic cooperation to supply and distribute the new generation of crop protection, care and nurturing products to supply to emission reduction farming models. In particular, specialized seminars on sustainable rice cultivation, emission reduction were held, aiming to build a raw materials areas according to the project of 1 million hectares of high-quality rice associated with low emissions toward natural 2050, and thereby helping the farmers increase productivity, reduce the cost, and stabilize income, fundamentally solving the problems of good harvest, low price. And according to the Provincial Economic Joint Management Board, the unit has developed a project and submitted to the Computer Authority for approval a capital proposal of more than 995 billion Vietnam dong to invest in construction and development of infrastructure in Mộc Bài International Border Gate Economic Zone. The Mộc Bài Infrastructure Development Project Plan to 2030 includes 3 main components, of which the most notable is the component of expanding the connecting route from Ho Chi Minh City Mộc Bài Expressway to the International Border Gate with a total capital of more than 626 billion Vietnam dong. The route is nearly 4.5 kilometers long. The road surface is 70 meters wide and the desired speed is 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. When completed, this will be a strategic traffic access, helping to directly connect the expressway with the border gate area, meeting the traffic volume of 10,000 to 15,000 vehicles per day, contributing to reducing the load of National Highway 22 and promoting trade, tourism, and logistics activities in the border area. The second component focuses on operating the mobile border gate choice control station and renovating the landscape of Milestone 171 area with a total capital of more than 260 billion Vietnam dong. It is expected that the control area will be expanded to serve about 200,000 passengers per day. And according to the roadmap, the project is expected to start construction in the early of 2027 and be completed in 2030, contributing to perfecting the appearance of a modern civilized international border gate, the tri-gateway of TayNinhTV province. And the Department of Education and Training has just developed a plan to propose providing more than 3,700 tons of rice to the students in the 2025 to 2026 school year. This policy is aimed at the students of provincial boarding school for ethnic minorities and primary and secondary schools in the border area. According to the plan, in the 2025 to 2026 school year, 582 students of the provincial boarding school for ethnic minorities will be supported with nearly 79 tons of rice. Notably, implementing the policies of supporting lunch for the primary and secondary school students and peoples in the land border communes, the whole province is expected to have nearly 50,000 students benefiting. With a total demand of more than 3,650 tons of rice, the Department of Education and Training proposed that the Provincial People's Committee submit to the Ministry of Finance to consider exporting national reserve rice to promptly support students in the border areas, contributing to ensuring nutrition and maintaining good attendance rates.
Ladies and gentlemen, for generations, the áo dài has become a traditional custom, a unique cultural beauty of the Vietnamese people. Through the flow of history, the áo dài has been constantly innovated to suit the modern pace of life.
Through the flow of history, the áo dài has been constantly innovated to suit the modern pace of life. Although changing in style, material, or color, the value of national cultural identity is still preserved and honored through each áo dài. Not only a costume, the áo dài is also a source of pride, a symbol of gentle beauty, a race and Vietnamese identity, a living cultural heritage passed down through many generations. And right now, we invite the audience to look back at the development journey of the Vietnamese áo dài from traditional values to today's modern breath. Through historical documents, the Vietnamese áo dài is closely associated with the nation's long-standing culture, from the dao lãnh shirt, the four-panel shirt, the five-panel shirt, and to the lê phổ áo dài, the tân thời áo dài, and the stage of development marks the distillation of the quintessence, honoring the graceful and graceful beauty of the wearer. Gradually modernizing, the áo dài has been reformed to have the two panels and five buttons, and for women, there are more reforms in the patterns and sleeves, when men still have the five buttons but only two flaps. Today, young people are clearly aware of the importance of preserving and promoting the beauty of traditional culture and national identity, and they learn about the history of the traditional áo dài and actively spread this value through many forms, bringing traditional custom to the stage at weddings or throughout photo albums to spread the value of national culture to the domestic and also international community. All stem from the desire to preserve traditional pride and pass that value on the future generations. Currently, TayNinhTV yearbook has more than 20 áo dài customs from different periods, and I hope that it is not just about renting customs, but through photo shoots and photo albums, traditional custom will be introduced to the people's life in a more natural way. Besides a myriad of modern customs, the áo dài is still chosen for festival events or when traveling, contributing to promoting the image of Vietnamese culture to the world. And from that surprise, Vietnamese people not only introduce their cultural identity but also convey national pride to friends around the world. At the Ba multinational tourist area, the image of tourists in áo dài is becoming more and more familiar. From the past until now, for all holidays and the New Year's, my 5 sisters and I wear áo dài of Vietnamese, and because wearing it makes us feel very comfortable and confident, we really hope that the áo dài will spread throughout the world, enhancing the value of Vietnamese women. Wherever we go, the people admire the Vietnamese women wearing traditional áo dài. And through many ups and downs times, the Vietnamese Áo dài still retain its traditional value, both as a spiritual heritage and a symbol of national identity. The journey to have the Áo dài recognized as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity is not only the efforts of designers and artisans, but also the common responsibility of every Vietnamese person in preserving the pride, the spirit of honoring and spreading that beauty everywhere.
That's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us, and goodbye for now.